Hello, everyone, and welcome to tonight's episode of The Age of Umbra. Before we jump into our episode tonight, we do have some announcements to get through, beginning with our sponsor tonight, which is Darrington Press.
Oh, are you surprised? Matt, I know you think my ads are stupid, but the fine folks at Darrington Press must enjoy them quite a bit because they plunked down a pretty penny for this ad spot.
I really don't think they did actually, Sam.
Jeez, jealousy does not look good on you. The Darrington Press have good taste, and they want to remind you that Daggerheart is out now and ready for your creations. Did you know that you can make, publish, and monetize your own Daggerheart content with the Darrington Press community gaming license and Daggerheart system reference document?
Nailed it.
You can. In fact, if you play your cards right, see what I did there? Maybe you can get rich on hope and fear and write a check to sponsor one of these shows just like Darrington Press did tonight.
Again, Sam, I'm pretty certain Darrington did not pay for this ad.
You just can't accept the fact that I am a beloved, sought-after fact that I am a beloved, sought-after advertiser's dream. Can you? It's not always about you, Matt. Learn more at darringtonpress.com/license or daggerhar.com. Daggerheart.com. Matt, a fuck to you.
Cool. Last time Darrington sponsors us.
I'm gonna call out, Eryn?
She just stands there smiling.
Is she holding a weapon of any kind?
No weapon, just kind of turned towards you this way. She spins.
Bless you.
Bless you. From under the gray cloak she has, you see her hand standing there. And then something slithers and moves quick from within the robe.
Oh, jeez. Oh, no.
As Eryn's body begins to swell and extend. You watch as your skin begins to turn a sickly green, her eyes rolling back into a pale, pupilless white. You watch as 2, 6, a dozen of strange extended tendrils begin to whip around from underneath her cloak. You see, and what you can briefly make out, these long tentacle-like extensions that kind of drag and shift and curl. Where there would be suction cups, instead there are rows and rows of small fingers that move.
Oh, my God! What?
What's the matter with you?
And as she looks at you, her mouth opens. As dozens of red, slick tethers
I'm out.
No!
I think
this one is supposed to be.
Whoa, that looks so cool.
That's not Eryn.
Look at the little girl.
The flash of like sparks and surround her, the divine halo of marking energy that you've set upon her kind of burns across. Watches you as you pass by, the jaw itself just kind of torn open and stretched as it seems like they get longer and longer, kind of pouring out of her mouth. Eryn's going to mark a stress. It's not really Eryn anymore.
Oh, no!
This is a limb wreath.
A limb?
Wreath.
Limb wreath.
Like limbs and then wreath?
Yeah.
Cool.
That's crap. That's 5, 7, that's 8 with fear.
Oh my god.
Unfortunately, that misses both of them.
What happens if we TPK here?
Then I pick up with Liam and
Liam
Laura.
and Laura?
Comedy.
All it takes is one hit to take it
try
down,
talking to it.
but you're just a little bit too shaken by its presence. That brings it back.
You did try.
Eryn, fight against it. Pull the tentacles back in.
I know you're in there.
It's going
There's
to...
literally a skin suit on the ground.
Do you want my dice?
I've switched out my fear die. I'm gonna give you hope. You're gonna give me hope. But hopefully,
Hold on to it.
Hopefully I get a hope.
She's losing it. She's losing it.
Well, the good news is I rolled with hope.
Okay, so you
Hang
can
on,
help.
wait. Let me also see what this is. That's great. That's good. 4, 5, 7. 7.
7 misses.
7 with hope.
But you get a hope.
So we get a
About
hope.
time. About time.
It's right in front of me. I'm gonna whack it and try to push it into the embers.
Nice.
I get a D6 because it's vulnerable?
Because it's vulnerable, yeah.
Okay. Skapow! Oh my god. Incredible. So many.
Wow.
27, 28, 29 to hit with hope.
That hits.
Wow.
Yeah. And I will mark a stress to do the kick attack. 11 points of damage, but it goes back towards the embers.
How do you want to?
Yes!
Keep getting these!
Go kicker!
Wow.
Kicker. I spot some embers that while the flame is out, there's one ember that's sort of sticking out from the fire that's on a sharp stick, and I'm gonna aim and kick it right towards that and hope it finds.
You kick it, it kind of like arcs in the air.
And I'm watching with my square eyes.
It impales on it. And the tentacles wrap around it and kind of burn as it kind of holds onto that embered spike, and it starts to pull itself free. And it draws itself off of that jagged, pointed spike as it lands. It turns back at you, but it's just gushing its internal viscera. It brings the tentacles back to swing one at you, and it whips, but the strength has left it as it crumples to its knee. And then falls to the ground. The tentacle that stands up dissolves, and the limb wreath dissipates until it's now just the currently unmoving, no longer human, but no longer alive form of Eryn.
She should have stayed where she was.
What has happened here? What is with the Pyre?
We went out to Firmament's Hollow, Harrow. We were going after Velk. We found where he fell, and Eryn contracted something. We brought her back, but Truvo couldn't cure her, and then a smoke encompassed the pyre. It extinguished the pyre, and then Eryn turned into whatever that was.
You see Ghosthook kind of takes his blade and turns over the body, and as it's diminished somewhat, it's still torn, exaggerated, with like some of the tendrils limp in its mouth, the eyes still milked over. There's not much solace in it but the thought that at least Eryn was gone before she became this. It's about this moment that you hear a voice go,
What's going on? Where is she?
and you see from around one of the tents, Garrick kind of looks around.
Someone told me that she's in trouble. Where is she?
I'll run over to Garrick. I'll grab him by the shoulders and I'll say, I'm sorry. She's gone.
No, they told me she was sick. You were watching her. You're
The
going to take
Umbra.
care of her.
Garrick, the Umbra. She caught something in those vaults and she fought it for a while. Truvo tried to help and we took our eyes off her for 1 second and...
It's at this moment he locks eyes with the shape on the ground that was his daughter. He kind of like pushes you aside and just kind of quietly walks over.
Oh, my sweet girl, no.
And he gets down on his knees and just kind of reaches for her hand. And just quietly sits and bows his head, and you can hear the faint sound of the sob. Beryl Spielbore of the Works, the rough and tumble orc blacksmith and member of the Triarch, steps forward.
We do not lay down for this. We have survived this long, and we will continue to survive together. We are the enduring, and we are here because we endure. We have endured worse than this, and we will endure worse than this. Because the flame is gone does not mean we are dead. It means we are in danger. But we are still strong. We are armed. We are resolute. Yes.
And she looks over and pierces a glance towards Ghosthook, who's like, this is true. And you see, at that moment, beyond the edge of the forum shadow, holding torches, you see the heavy, mantled and cloaked figures of various scholar individuals, as well as Idrova, the elf who is the more or less unspoken head of the Scholars of Luzal, and the third member of the Triarch arrives. What do we know has taken from us the light of protection?
As you know, we ventured out to the Firmament's Harrow. We located Velk, along with the rest of their party that had fallen. We made it to the doors of the monastery, farther than anyone had before, but Eryn had followed us, and upon inspecting some of the reliquaries outside of the monastery, she inhaled something. She became sick. We brought her home. Truvo treated her, but she took a turn for the worse in the night, and before we knew what happened, there was a great dark cloud that encircled the pyre. It seemed to extinguish it, and we noticed there were bodies everywhere, and it seemed that whatever Eryn inhaled also possessed her, changed her form. Something from the Umbra. Horrible. And once we had dealt with that creature, Eryn lay fallen and the pyre had been extinguished.
There's a nod. And just beyond you, you hear the flicker of flames of the recently fallen being burned to prevent them from rising once more. As they nod and take it in, Idrova looks up. Can you vouch for all of this, Truvo? And Truvo, who's arrived at this point, his hands and fingers kind of entwined, his eyes looking not directly to meet anyone's gaze, but you see himself still trying to process everything. Well, from as far as I know, that's true. I did my best to treat her, but indeed something insidious had taken root within her. The Umbra's reach is far. I bear responsibility for my part in being unable to see her to health.
It's no one's fault. But it should be said that we couldn't have gotten as far as we did without her.
She was a hero, and she should be revered as such. I do not want her name sullied.
Trevor goes, it would not be. She was a vibrant and wonderful young woman who, in spite of all that we lived through, kept a smile, an infectious one. I know such tragedy is all too common, but that doesn't mean we shouldn't allow space.
Did the Emberwarden Sheena survive, or no?
It's about this time that you notice that far behind Emberwarden has been outside of the Triarch, cloaked and listening. You've seen her since you were a child, when she pulled you from that gathering of orphans and raised you all these years to be the pyre keeper you are. She is a solid mountain, unmoving. And right now, she is shaken in a way you've never experienced. Her face pale, her mouth hanging. These portents do not speak well to our tidings, and we have not a record of a branch in decades. Idrova goes, then the scholars will not sleep this night, and we will pore over our tomes, and we will see what we can to muster some semblance of hope. The Emberwarden approaches you.
I once again avert my gaze before she speaks.
Brixton.
I apologize
Brixton.
if you view me as a failure.
No.
If I have failed you.
I have failed all of you. I had
is not
thought
true.
to prepare you for what was necessary, but this world is cruel.
I know that. We all know that. You gave me board, shelter, and purpose through my servitude. I wish I could have prevailed.
She places her hand out on your clavicle, and for the first time since she's arrived, she makes eye contact with you. The service of a pyre keeper is not bound to a single flame. And there is precedent for flames once quelled to be burned anew. I am old, and I lack the strength to stand against a world this dark at times. And it's through you. You see she her lip quivers a bit. And the others that I hoped to carve a better future. To protect them and protect you. So I, in ways, have failed you all. But your service is not done. Whatever is needed of you, the fires walk alongside. Where your feet comb the grounds, where the flames burn away the impurities of this darkened realm. If you step beyond these walls, be the strength I could never be, and be the righteous flame that will burn hope for Desbaloch. Do you hear me? We have lost much, but not everything, and you will burn so bright. Do you hear me?
I hear you. I hear you. But if I may, what is this rhetoric you speak as if you are already defeated, if you will not make it through the night? Why are you speaking as if your fate has already been sealed?
I've lived long enough.
You're not going anywhere.
No. I've lived long enough to know many shades of despair. This too shall pass in time, but is still fresh. I must process.
Yes. Of course.
And she just exhales deeply and steps beyond the forum.
Before we go off, I want to go to the pyre. And I know this won't work, but I'm just trying to help. I'm just gonna try to keep pumping wild magic flames into the pyre to try to get it started.
The embers that fade, unfortunately, resist external influence. The divine fire itself, long gone, in what heat remains, just simple fire above sacred flame. You try as you might, and others still keep a distance between their sorrow, confusion, and fear. You still strike a unique image amongst such despair.
If anybody could have restarted it, it would have been you. Good to try.
I didn't think it would work, but I tried.
We have to be careful. I think she can find us now. We're in danger.
I think we are very much in danger. I think we are in danger in many ways. I am going to kneel before the pyre and sort of unfurl all my wings again, and you just see sort of tears start to roll down the sides, and I'm just as still as can be and almost look like the statue that I am. And I'm gonna stay there for the night.
Yeah, I'll go back to my tent, crawl inside, and there's a collar, a big collar sitting there, and I'll pick it up and just sort of clutch it to myself and hold it tight and cuddle up into my little blanket and fall asleep as well.
It's not your fault. She's always been one to run ahead, both feet first. The only reason she got more life than she did is because you saved her to begin with when you got here. And for that time, I'll always be grateful. She burned brighter than most. Sometimes those stars only burn half as long.
I'm sorry.
Me too. Ain't the first child I lost. And that's just how it goes out here on the wastes. There are other children here that need guidance too. Still food that's gotta be grown. I got things to keep me busy.
I have a score to settle.
For both of us. Whatever did this, you make and suffer.
I will.
And he walks off towards his homestead. Throughout the night, we have made a few possibilities apparent to us. We found writings that had some mention of blessed branches that were noted, either interred in locations or protected and sealed, in which case there has been no further mention. And tracing the lines of branches that have been confirmed amongst the various settlements over the past century, neither of these spaces have been confirmed or disturbed for the branches to have been moved or taken as far as we know. If one of these branches can be acquired and returned here, then we could restart our pyre and bring safety back to the walls of Desperlock. Trevor goes, We're curious if we were to try and reach out and possibly get supplies or help from Volkoru down the way. Worst comes to worst, we considered the possibility of moving the population of Desperlock to Volkoru, but that many people on these roads through the jungle and the Ashen Sea side is a death march, especially with an Umbra wind to do. So we really have no confirmation if they even have room or will take us. Volkoru is very secure in what it has. So, at the very least, we might send a few missives that way in hopes of at least establishing their knowledge of our condition, and if they have any additional supplies and maybe some extra hands that they can send to help try and keep our vigil bolstered would be very useful. One of these branches, it is noted to have been lost in the Gilded Shambles to the far northwest across the wastes. Once carried by a caravan seeking to establish a settlement there, they vanished among the overgrown ruins of the Gilded Spires that fell 70 years ago. From what we could ascertain, it was noted that a fiendish influence had spread since the fall of those towers, and that demons and their allies play and feast amongst the ivy-covered walls there. singing alluring songs to draw enduring into their lairs. So, a dangerous locale, but one in which a pyre does not burn, and where a branch may reside. The other possibility we have, there is also mention in this one tome of a blessed branch that was interred within the Barrow of Blind Repose. It's a tomb of the heretic saint Elviar, high in the Idle Hollows, not far from the Astro Foundry north of Amberreach. That one is an untouched, sealed tomb, and likely a bit safer than the Gilded Shambles. Of these two, and you see Idrova looks over, the Triac has already spoken and been notified of, amongst those beyond, of a number of interested parties in being part of this endeavor. And thank you for your recommendation, given what you've accomplished and your proximity to the events of the past day. We have agreed it is in the best interests of Desperlock to divide a troop to each of these locales. Ghosthook is to take a number of his closest vigil and will be sent to the Gilded Shambles. Him and his team will seek the branch there in these demon-influenced realms. And there's like a pause and a turn and a nod, and you see Ghosthook is just arms crossed and he just goes,
That's a bad motherfucker, yo.
should you still be willing to offer your hand, we would send your troop to the Barrow of Blind Repose. Is this something you would still have the wherewithal and bravery to step towards?
Oh no, we're leaving.
Ghosthook goes,
You could count on us.
Your
but
closest estimation is fine.
they commonly wander every 6 to 12 months.
Bless you.
We are at 7 months since the last Umbra wind.
Oh. Is there any way to avoid the Screaming Forest?
Ghosthook looks and says, "Can you swim?"
Fuck. Do you breathe? Can you just walk along the bottom of the...
I could probably try.
Without you guys, I could probably do it in a week too.
Oh.
But it's just...
You're more than welcome to go on your own.
No, I'm
Brave that
good.
would
No, I don't want... I mean, I could, but I
You
don't
are
want
very
to.
brave.
It's very courageous of you.
Yeah, I don't want to show off.
Would you rather go alone?
No,
You probably
no,
would rather go.
I
Do you want to
wouldn't.
go with Ghosthook?
I think he's really cool.
We're right here.
I wouldn't blame you.
I wouldn't mind, actually. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe you guys will be okay, right?
I think we need you.
You wouldn't be able to get through any of this without a guide.
And your boomerang.
Yeah.
Your trusty boomerang.
You are MVP.
Yeah.
I mean, I've killed everyone we've met.
You really have.
Wow. Put it like that.
You want to run and you're the deadliest.
Yeah.
We're just dead weight. I'd kill us
Do
as
I
soon as we're
need you?
asleep.
Ghosthook sees you idle and walks up to you. And kind of throws an arm around your shoulder and kind of pulls you away from the populace. And as he walks, he goes, "I've had my eye on you for some time. And you carry something that concerns me. You walk with some golden echo that follows. There is a power in your veins I know not the source of. And the very fact that you survive amongst the events of recent days means something wants you to keep going. You have a passion. And I can see that you walk towards whatever this
promise might be, yes?
Yes.
You are not the first I have seen like this. And you would not be the first I have cut down for giving in to such corruption, if that is what it is. You could be the savior to this community, or you could be its doom. And I do not know which is which. What I hope is what you follow is righteous and true. Because when we return, you will have to prove it to me. Or I will cut you down before you tear this city to the ground.
I think that seems and sounds fair. If you happen to return with a blessed branch before we do. I have great respect for you. You've given this community a sense of safety. Something I haven't seen much of outside of these walls. I strive to meet that. I won't let you or Desper lock down.
Turns and puts his hand on both his shoulders and looks you dead in the eye.
Good. Move swift. Strike true. Stand against the dark. And do whatever it takes. And when you return, let it be in celebration. And not at swords. Pat, pat. Travel safe, Idle.
Until eventually you're brought to one of the side tents where you can see a number of scrolls that were brought out to the center of the village are being replaced and organized. And indeed, Thalia is currently checking notes and setting them up into the proper cubbies before stopping. Oh, hello.
Hi.
We haven't actually, I believe, met, but I've seen you talking with others.
Not properly. August.
Sorry,
how do you do?
Good.
And I am going to take off my jacket, my hat, and my...
Do you let your mouth show?
Oh, yeah.
You see, like, her hand briefly kind of goes towards the edge of the table where there's a cane settled off to the side, and just...
We're at the point now where I'm tired of hiding. My worst fears are all come true at this point. So,
she puts her hand back.
I hope you understand what I'm laying bare right now. You come highly recommended. I want to show you something.
Okay, certainly.
We found this deep inside where everything went wrong.
Is it safe to...
I think now it is, and I float it.
She reaches over and just takes a piece of sackcloth from the side and kind of collects it from the air, and then goes, "Wait, you made that? Go... Are you an Aether Weaver?"
Yes.
You keep that quite hidden, you do?
Well, times being what they are.
Yeah. But best you continue to, just in case. All of it. It doesn't bother me, really, but others it might.
Of course, which is why I needed your trust, and I needed it quickly.
Sorry, I panicked and went for the cane. I didn't know we were doing it first. Anyway, and she sets it down on the table.
I scream when I look in the mirror in the morning.
Don't we all? No, wait. You said you got this where? Doors at the monastery. You went to the monastery?
Well, to the doors before.
Oh, the gate. Yeah. No, we're Rascallo. Oh, you were with Rascallo. I'm so sorry. He's recovering though. That's good.
Well,
this is incredible.
This is where Eryn got sick.
Terrifying. It's damaged. There are pieces missing. I don't know where the
I have
trauma
those
through history, but
I'm going to bring out the rest of it in the...
Oh, this shouldn't have come off. Well, I stand now. Okay. Yeah, this, these markings... Hold on. Goes through upper shelf and, like, drags over a chair. And kind of steps up into it and starts pouring through. I think it's one of these two. Brings it down. Thumbs up. No, not that one. Here we go. Yeah. And pulls out and shows you a page, and you can see there's a sketch of that skull and the iron band on the jaw.
Oh, dear.
This is the skull of Vashathu, of the Broken Coal. They were, what's the word I'm looking for? They were a silver-tongued devil. Yeah, they had begun to, it says here, leak blasphemy into the ears of the faithful, and had begun to infiltrate the halls of Luzol and the Cinnabar region of Amber Reach before being tried and sentenced to execution. But during the execution, it looks like shadows of which it had pacted with began to protect it from the blade, and in a great holy conflict was struck down and bound, its flesh carved from the skull, its bone made sealed, and its shadow kept at bay, and was sealed within the monastery. And yeah.
Great. Yeah.
Shit. This is quite a find.
There was shadows and Icar and some blind, faithful...
I'm listening.
...ravings. Before Velk died, he was just gone mad.
Wraps it up.
Praying and...
Yeah.
Right. I'm very impressed with this bookshelf, by the way.
Oh, thank you. It's just one of our various archives. Keep watch to it.
That where I'm from.
Yeah.
Oh.
Are we done?
I hope you can learn more about that once we get back.
Of course.
I appreciate it.
No, thank you.
You don't happen to have anything that might be useful for us on our way? It's fine if you don't.
Takes looks like a fur shawl that was kind of curled in the corner and goes... That should help keep you warm.
Flip the hat on, flip the coat over. We'll see you soon then.
Good luck.
You as well.
You go to Truvo's tent, and Truvo is kind of sitting alone, half asleep in the chair, like still bundled. Looks like he was up late attending to
everything,
wounds and everything. And as soon as you sit in the tent, like, oh, hey there. Sorry, I dozing off a little. That's right. Y'all's heading out, right?
Apologies for waking you.
No, of course. It's fine. I'm sorry I didn't do better.
We all tried our best. We were acting within the parameters of the knowledge that we had.
Y'all are heading off to where now?
The Baron of Blind Repose.
Don't know where that is. Is it far?
Yes.
Dear. Well...
We know that you're very strapped.
I've spent most of my supplies, but I got a few things. Here, I do have some salves that can help. And pulls out, you can write down recovery salve.
Recovery salve?
You have 2 of them.
2?
Times 2.
Bang.
And more or less what that means is when you spend a downtime action during a short rest to heal hit points, or stress,
Yeah.
you can add 1 to that, and then it's consumed.
In a short rest.
Yeah, long rest heals full anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Okay.
But it gives you like a +1 heal to a stress or a hit point when you spend that downtime action.
Great.
And you have 2 uses of those. And I got 1 more of these little friendly ones. Hopefully it'll help keep you a little more lively on the path there.
Amazing.
It's long trips out there.
I'm gonna go back to my tent real quick, just grab my supplies. I am gonna grab, I have this big collar that I'm gonna grab. I'm just gonna hold it real close and just be like, I couldn't save you, buddy, but I promise I won't let the same thing happen to them. And I'm gonna wear it as like a belt.
It's that big.
Yeah.
Did you have a big best friend?
Do you have a John Wick origin story? Did someone shoot your puppy? Yeah. Oh.
You push through the jungles themselves, the occasional kind of rattling gurgle or distant call echoing in the distance. You keep quiet.
That's nothing.
Eventually you hear like the clicking of birds. Like,
That's something.
and with each sound you watch Snyx panic, seize, and then lead you a little ways off. But in doing so,
Couple pellets fall.
yeah. Little Cocoa Puffs.
He's puffing.
At one point, you can hear the distant, heavy, thick footfalls and feel them almost to the ground as something massive is lurking through the jungle.
Jesus, every time.
I love it so much.
For it.
I was in a comfy place.
Those are footfalls. Those are
And it gets
footfalls. Okay.
Quieter and quieter. A sound you haven't heard before.
Nope.
But something massive is lumbering through the jungle.
Do you know what that was?
Something massive lumbering through the jungle.
August, what's wrong?
I've been trying to tell you, and I know you don't remember. We're going home tomorrow.
What do you... I don't understand.
Screaming forests. It's home. We're going. We have to be very careful. We have to be very, very careful for the next day.
We will be very careful. And I will protect you.
All of us. And you especially.
I will be okay. And at the end of the day, if I'm not, then maybe I will be set free and I get to go home, wherever that is.
I cannot think of a worse fate if we get caught, for any of us.
Who would catch you?
Somewhere in the Screaming Forest, there is a temple. And in that temple is... a catacomb of sticky, sweet amber and creatures where they serve and worship the Queen Mother. And Queen Mother is very unhappy that we got away. Very, very unhappy that we got away. And she is hungry. And she likes to play with her food for weeks, months. Sometimes she gets creative show the moth that is stitched into my back. She may decide you look like fun.
And this is if we go through the screaming forest.
If she finds us, she'll eat you slowly.
Do you happen to have a lot of siblings?
I was somewhat unique, but it's hard to tell. She likes to change people if she decides they're interesting, more interesting than food. She has her children too, and just she'll take you and preserve you alive and chew and...
She sounds delightful. Let's not plan to stop by
I
there.
don't want to see her.
This is absolutely my worst nightmare.
Now's a good time, Misty,
Oh,
to see if you can breathe underwater.
So I get
Oh.
clear stress also.
I'll go underwater and
Oh, I get to...
You're going to spend a hope to...
On
6.
your vessel ancestry
Did that
or
help?
clank
It did.
from the base core game, what abilities do you have
a
on
lot.
there?
well,
Do any of them involve breathing?
no.
As you begin to hold your breath, you feel a growing burning pain in your chest. And you realize this vessel, as you hold within it, while it is not made of standard flesh, the hollow points of your body that mark your instrument as the holy vessel, where your music stems from, the essence that anchors you here needs the air to pass through it for you to remain anchored. And as they clog with water, it's not about breathing more than you feel your mooring on this physical stone form begin to loosen the longer you're underwater.
Strength
I don't like it.
18 strength.
to
You can no longer see the ramparts here in the darkness of night until you are close enough to just barely have your light frame it. But you do see in the far distance the little spark of flame that you know to be Okoru's sacred pyre. And with enough of a glance, you can see the distant speck, like a burning star on the horizon of another pyre, and possibly far away. Could be Okros, could be something else. As you come around the mountain range, you have a view of the valley from the southern side that begins to open up, which lets you know that you're pretty close to where the ramparts begin, in which case you are just traversing the top of these walls with crashing ocean below. That's Mario.
So there was
That's-
another pyre that, or another flame that he saw in the distance
Far in the
from
distance.
Correct.
Is that the Shulk chasm?
Volkoru.
It could be Shulk Chasm, it could be Okros. Here's
Or
the
that
thing.
one.
The nights are so dark, if the mist isn't too strong, and you have an open sight of the valley, you can see all the sacred pyres, or most of them that are at least high enough to be visible, like a small starscape across the darkened land.
We did it. We're live.
You were doing great.
Making great on the
We did
journey.
it live.
Yeah.
It got dicey.
We're doing fine.
Literally.
got real
You had to roll
dicey.
some
We're
dice.
fine. We're the mighty fine.
Mighty
We're fine. We're okay.
Yeah.
Everything's mighty fine. What a cool setting it was when everything went like rig for battle red. So good. And then the green.
So good. The
Killer
dimples.
job from the crew, man. It's
Man,
so
the crew
good.
did a
so
great
cool.
job with this set.
I love
I
this
love
set.
it
I could sleep
so
here.
much.
Yeah, a couple times during the game, I just found myself like looking at the set and just like wondering, how do you make this? How do you design this? And then is it
Knoxburg files
carved?
are
Is
brilliant.
it 3D printed?
Even its
Is
team are
it
great.
How do you do this?
I mean,
A little bit of,
it's-
I know.
a little bit of
I was
column A, a little bit of column
Yeah, I
B.
mean, it was designed and sketched
Sean
by
Ellis.
Sean Ellis,
Yeah.
our amazing resident artist, Sean Ellis, who did the design work for a lot of Daggerheart
Yep.
and the Age of Umbra campaign frame specifically, which is what a lot of this is based on. But he helped design the set, and then Knox and his team built it along with our wonderful crew, assembling and lighting and setting up everything here. I just love that I get to play with these toys. Makes me so happy.
I feel like your DM screen there should also be an incense holder so that there's smoke coming out of the skull.
like one of the
like the gravity.
backwards.
I also
Yeah,
thought it was
gravity,
like
like
a
actually.
dice roller.
Yeah, you drop
Like
it
the
and it come
dice.
up.
I know it feels like.
Oh, it comes
Yeah.
out of
Yeah.
mouth.
That's
yeah.
cool.
Feels like it should
I like your fear
Yeah.
tracker too. Is that
Yeah, the
custom
fear
made?
tracker.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Little
it's
red
dope.
skull.
Little skulls.
Yeah.
It's so fun.
skeleton.
Spirits
Feel a little
of Amber
exposed.
Reach. Good, you should.
I was just getting comfy.
I don't like
I
being
know.
the guy who
I
knows
know.
more about everything than
death.
everybody else. Oh no! I don't like it. I don't like it.
That's right. You know a lot about what's out there.
I've got stuff.
You got pages?
I've got pages. It's not very helpful. it doesn't say like this thing will kill you. It just says like this is what the landscape is like.
Well, if you have any questions about what's there about the purpose, just shoot me a text and I'll let you know a little bit of information. Because you should know a little bit from what you've heard being a scout and a traveler. Let's see where it gets us next time.
Yeah.
See you soon.
Great job, man.
Good job, y'all.